Тэнгэрийн Монгол орн нь өргөн удам үргэлжлэх онгон зэлүүд газар нутаг элэгсэг сэтгэлтэй ард түмнэрээ эдэслэгдсэн ер бусын увдистай орн юм а. Байгалийн төрөх байдал цаг үрийн хувьд олон ялгаатай мөнх цас дориглуудаас ахуулаад зүлэг ногоон тал өргөн их говь цүлхийг хамардаг. Эрт үеэс өдийг хүртэл байгальтайгаа зохицон амьдардаг нүүдэлчин амьдралын ёс жаяг нь зууныг дамжин үргэлжилжээ. Тус улсын олон үндэстэн ястнуудаас төрөн гарсан гоёмсог Монгол үндэсний хувцас, соёл заншил, үндэсний урлаг нь улсын нандин өв хөрөнгө юм байна. Сүүлийн хэдэн 10 жилд 2.5 сая гаруй хүн амтай олон зүйлийн ургамал амьтны нутаг болох Монгол орн нь цаг үрийн өөрчлөлтүүд болох цөлжилт, ган гачиг, эрсдэс уур амьсгалын хүчтэй нөлөөнд автаад байгаа юм байна. Төгсгийгэрсэн их багш Чинхайн Монгол дахь нийгэмлэгийн гишүүд гариг дэлхийхэн байдалд сэтгэл зовниж дэлхийн дулаарл цаг үрийн өөрчлөлтийн тулгамдсан асуудлаарх Сос олон улсын хурлыг тус улсын нийслэл Улаанбаатар хотын соёлын төвөргөнд мигмар гарагт зохион байгуулжээ. 1-р сарын 27-нд болсон энэхүү хуралд 1000 гаруй зочид тэдгээрийн дотор хэдэн зуун нөлөө бүхий хүмүүс олон байгууллагуудын тэргүүнүүд оролцжээ. Хуралд оролцсон чухал албаны хүмүүсийн дунд Улсын их хурлын гишүүн Б. Батбаяр, Монгол улсын ерөнхий сайд асан Думагийн Содном, Монгол улсын нийслэлийн засаг даргын орлогч Даваад Оржийн Гамбол, Шинжлэх ухааны академийн дэд ерөнхийлөгч доктор Батболдын их төвшин, ерөнхийлөгчийн зөвлөх Самдангийн Цэдэн Дамбаа, ерөнхий сайдын гадаад харилцаа хариуцсан зөвлөх Очийн од нар хуралд оролцсон байна. Хурлын хүндэт зочин болох төгсгийгэрсэн их багш Чинхайн уг хурлыг найрсгаар хүлээн авч оролцож, шууд дүрсээр харилцсан үзэгчдийн асуултанд хариулсан байна. Шинжлэх ухааны баримтаар нотлогдоод байгаа цаг үрийн өөрчлөлтөөс үүссэн манай дэлхийн ноцтой нөхцөл байдал ба шуурхай арга хэмжээ авах шаардлагын үүднээс төгсгийгэрсэн их багш Чинхайн сүүлийн 20 жилд дэлхийд даянд түгээж байсан чухал захиасандаа бид цагаан хоолтон байх ёстой бөгөөд бид байгалийн нөөцийг хэмнэж амьдрах ёстойг баттган хэлж байлаа. Монгол улсын ерөнхийлөгч намрын их хоёр хуралд онцгой жуух бичгээ илгээсэн нь хурлын онцлог үйл явдал болсон юм. Тухайн мөчид ерөнхийлөгч гадаадад айлчлалаар явсан байсан учраас уг албан ёсны мэндчилгээг түүний зөвлөх Самдангийн Цэдэн Дамбаа үзэгчдэд хүргэсэн юм. Тус үйл ажиллагааг 22 хэвлэл мэдээллийн төлөөлөгчид оролцсон. Түүний дотор гол сонингууд болох Үнэн, Зууны мэдээ, Монголын мэдээ, мөн FM 105.5, TV9, Монголын үндэсний телевизийн MM агентлаг, Игэл телевизүүд байсан байна. FM 105.5, TV9 болон Supreme Master телевизүүд уг хурлыг үзэгчдэд шууд дамжууллаа. Дэлхийн дулаарлын хурлын дараагаар төгсгийгэрсэн их багш Чинхайн дэлхийд орлогоороо тэргүүлж буй Шувууд миний амьдралд хэмээх номны Монгол Орос хэл дээрх хувилбаруудын нээлтийн ёслолын ажиллагаа явагдсан юм. Дараа нь дэлхийн ээжид зориулсан онцгой хүндэт зочин төгсгийгэрсэн их багш Чинхайг урьж оролцуулсан танслах сайхан тоглолт тавигдсан билээ. Та бүхэндээ одоо Монгол улсын нийслэл Улаанбаатар хотод 2009 оны 1 сарын 27-нд болсон төгсгийгэрсэн их багш Чинхайг урьж оролцуулсан дэлхийн дулаарл цаг үрийн өөрчлөлтийн тулгамдсан асуудлаарх Сос олон улсын видео хурлыг давтан толилуулах гэж байна.
Now, our second half of our Global Warming International Conference on Urgent Problems of Climate Change begins.
Our guest of honor for today's conference, Supreme Master Чинхай, is a world-renowned philanthropist, artist, Gusi Peace Prize Award laureate, highly accomplished poet, author of #1 international best-selling books, and spiritual teacher.
In light of the rapid changes taking place in the Earth's climate, Supreme Master Чинхай has expressed a deep concern for our environment.
In fact, for more than 20 years, she has talked about preserving the environment and most recently has undertaken a global campaign to curb the climate change. Hello, Master.
Hello, Master.
Hello. Hello. How are you? Warm welcome to you from Mongolia. And undertaking a global campaign to curb the climate change crisis by informing the public through Supreme Master Television. She also delivering personal interviews by radio, TV, as well as by writing a letter of encouragement to world leaders, the media, and individuals who are shining examples of environmental heroism. So let's welcome Supreme Master Qinghai.
Hello, beautiful people. Sanbanyo.
Sambano.
Sanbeno, Master.
Sanbanyo Monguchuda. How are you?
Good. We are very good, wonderful, Master. You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me today.
It's great honor
Happy
to
New
have you
Year.
here today with us.
Happy Lunar New Year.
Happy Lunar New Year to you too.
Everything goes well, yeah?
Yes.
First, let me say hello to all your honorable guests and the audience there. And I thank everyone for taking the time to be present in this beautiful meeting, as well as sending recorded tapes on letter. I'm really touched by the attention of the government of Mongolia, of His Excellency the President of your beautiful country, and the television that have taken trouble to come and broadcast your very meaningful activity. And I thank you all the honored guests and all the audiences there. And I wish your country, your people, your president, the television line and radio, and all the audience all the best for the coming year.
Thank you, Master.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Master.
And our next question comes from Jugdir Dolum, Scientific Secretary of Institute of Meteorology and Hydrology.
So let's start our question and answer. Our first questioner,
Yes.
Jugdir Dolum.
За их багш таны амрыг айлтхан мэдчилж байна. За Монгол орны агаарын температурын сүүлийн 60 гаруй жилийн хүлэмжийн 10 гаруй жилийн хэмжилтийн мэдээгээр Монгол оронд дулааралт, уур амьсгалын өөрчлөлт, эрс тод илэрч байгаа билээ. Тэгэхээр уур амьсгалын өөрчлөлт энэ дулааралтыг сааруулахын тулд түүнд дасан зохицохын тулд бид юу хийх хэрэгтэй вэ?
Dear Master, greeting to you. There is a strong evidence of global warming and climate change in Mongolia from the research and observation of the past 60 years. What can we do to neutralize the effects of climate change or adapt to the forthcoming changes?
Thank you. We must, first of all, and the most important thing, we have to stop global warming by choosing a sustainable diet that is vegetarian or vegan. This will almost immediately stabilize the planet, the weather, and then we can think about adapting to the changes. I hope we don't have to adapt, but otherwise it might be too late. If we don't take care of the problem at the root right now, we will have no planet to even adapt to. As you all know, based on the scientific research, we are already aware of the main cause of global warming. Even the Mongolian Nobel Prize winner, Dr. Pusama Batima, from the UN International Panel of Climate Change, has spoken on Supreme Master Television about the danger from the degradation of the ecosystems. See the Gobi Desert, which covers the Mongolian landscape. It is a fragile ecosystem that is easily destroyed by overgrazing. This results in the desert land turning into stony wasteland where not even camels can survive. It's a very sad affair and very urgent. So in order to neutralize the effects of global warming, such as these land changes resulting from the ever more severe climate, we must stop the raising of livestock to kill for food. We must live a vegan, animal-free, cruelty-free lifestyle according to Buddhist teaching and according to scientific evidence that this is the best way for us to stop the global warming and the fastest and the most efficient and the most long-lasting. Thank you.
Thank you, Master.
The next question comes from Adyasurun Tsokho, President of Mongolian Hydrometeorological Society, President, Environmental University, Eco-Asia.
За таны амар амгалан айлтгая. За таны санаачлагаар дэмжлэгээр уур амьсгалын өөрчлөлтийг сааруулахад хүний сэтгэхүйг өөрчлөх нь зүйтэй Марксийн агуулгын дор ийм сайхан хуралдаан болж байна. Тэгээд дараах асуултыг тань тавья гэж бодож байна. Хэрвээ хүн хэн нэгэн хүн цагаан хоолтон болоод амьдрал хэдий хэмжээний хүлэмжийн хийг ууруулах боломжтой вэ гэсэн асуулт тавьж байна. Анхаарал тавьсан дэх баярлалаа.
Dear Master, greeting to you.
Greeting, honor to have you there.
Thank you, Master. The question, how much possibly is the calculated carbon imprint cut by a single person being vegetarian?
Yes, how much? Very, very much. The carbon reduction is immense by just being vegetarian. We don't even need to cut down on cars and transportation yet. Just being vegetarian, having animal-free diet, we will cut a huge amount of carbon dioxide to stop the global warming. For example, in just 1 year, if a person is having a meat-based diet, he would produce the carbon equivalent of driving a car almost 5,000 kilometers. A vegetarian diet would cut the carbon in half, 50% less, to the equivalent of 2,427 kilometers. And if that person adopts a vegan diet, meaning absolutely no animal products, either used or eaten, then the equivalent is further reduced to just 629 kilometers, which is 87% less than that of a meat-based diet. And best still, for an organic vegan diet, the most sustainable choice for our planet, that would be the equivalent of 281 kilometers. That is a 94% reduction in carbon emission if the person take the organic vegan diet. This is the statistic from Institute for Ecological Economy Research in Germany. And this is just carbon alone. We did not mention even the reduction of methane, which has 72 times the warming potential of carbon dioxide over an average of 20 years time span. So you can see clearly how a vegetarian diet can reduce at least 80% of global warming. Thank you, and I hope everybody take a vegetarian diet and best organic vegan diet.
Thank you,
you.
Master.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your uplifting
Very
words.
good answer.
The next question comes from Mijidor Jrinchen, Doctor and Professor, Head of Center for Ecology and Sustainable Development.
За хогчинхаа би энэ урд орцож байгаадыг баяртай байна. Тэгээ би танаас нэг асуулт асууя гэж бодсон юм аа. Хөгжиж байгаа орнууд эрчим хүчнийхээ их өрсөлдөлийг нүүрснээс гаргаж байна. Үүнээс маш их хэмжээний хүлэмжийнхээ ялгарч байна. Цаашид энэ хэмжээ нь улам их нэмэгдэх төлөвтэй байна. Иймээс дэлхийн долларлыг багасгах өөр ямар арга зам байж болох вэ? Энийг л асуух гэсэн.
Dear Master, I'm very glad to be part of the teleconference. The developing countries' main source of energy is coal that emits an enormous amount of carbon dioxide. The future tendency is to use more coal. Is there any other way to neutralize the global warming?
Yes, Professor. In the news recently, there are many developing countries which are making use of green technologies such as solar energy, which is clean and sustainable. And they're also trying to minimize the use of coal. We know from scientists, great scientists, such as Dr. James Hansen of NASA, that much of the carbon dioxide emitted from coal burning stays in the air for more than thousands of years. So another harmful element of coal burning is black carbon, or soot, that contains up to 40 different cancer-causing chemicals. That would also cause lung and heart diseases. Also, the byproducts of coal plants are highly toxic and can damage the health of people and animals alike. So every country should help each other to develop more sustainable energy for our shared planet, as well as to protect the health of the people and the animals. We just cannot burn away or use up all our precious natural resources and in the process harm our environment. We must adopt sustainable, green, frugal lifestyles, which will support all life on the planet. Again, since you asked, the first step is to end the killing of animals for food. Even Dr. James Hansen highlighted this fact as he said that being veg is the most effective means for anyone to save the planet, without any ado, without any documents, without any trouble. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Master.
The next question comes from Choima Sharov, Doctor of Philology, Professor of the Altaic Studies and Textology, National University of Mongolia.
Welcome.
Их багштан таны амар амгалан айлтгаж хүндрэлтний сэтгэлийн гэрийг арилгаж сэтгэлийг ариусгахад ихийг гэж агуу их үйлсийг бүтээж байгаа таны буян төлс даган баясаж байна. Ингээд дэлхийн доллартай холбогдсон өөрийнхөө бодлыг гэлээд танаас нэгэн зүйлийг асууя. Дэлхийн долларт нь байгаль ертөнцийн өөрийнх нь зүй тогтлоор болж байгаа хэрэг биш, хүндрэлтний буруутай үйлдэлээс болж байгаа гэдэг нь тодорхой. Тэгвэл тэр хүндрэлтний энэ буруу үйлдэлийг хийхэд их сурвалж нь юу байсан юм бэ? Хүний сэтгэлийн хэм буруутсан сэтгэлээс үүссэн гэдэг нь тодорхой. Бүр тодтогч хэлвэл хүний сэтгэлд ассан шундлын гадал дэлхийг дулааруулж байна шүү дээ. Одоо дэлхийд даяар болж байгаа банк санхүү эдийн засгийн хямралч гэсэн улам баяжхын төлөө кит их ашиг хөөцөлдөж кит их үйлдвэрсний шунал сэтгэлийн гай юм аа. Бас л шунлын гадаас шалтгаалжээ. Иймээс хүндрэлтний дийлэнх гисгийн сэтгэлийн шунлыг өнөөгийн нөхцөлд яаж хязгаарлаж номготхон цөвөн цагийн энэ гамшигаас хүндрэлтнийг яаж аврах вэ? Энэ талаар та сургаалаа альдно.
Dear Master, I'm really joyful and grateful to hear knowing your compassionate and humanitarian work. This is the question. It is obvious that the global warming is not caused by natural factors, but happened due to the wrong actions of humans. What is the cause of human wrongdoings? The cause, I believe, is mental default and wrong view. The wrong mind leads to the wrong actions. Precisely, the fire of human greed and desire is warming up this earth. Today's world economic crisis also is undesirable outcome of our producing goods in order to make more profit, isn't it? Again, the reason for this is the fire of desire. In the circumstances, what could be the way to save humankind from the modern time disaster? How should we subdue the evil of greedy mind that the majority of humankind possess?
Dr. Sari, it is true that scientists have already proven that accelerated global warming is not due to natural causes, but human-related activities. The cause of this is that we have forgotten our noble nature, our original divine self, our Buddha nature. So we must return to a virtuous way of life. There is now abundance of data available to help inform people. Because people have not been informed well. It's not just due to greed or evil-minded, just lacking of information that make people not aware of the consequences of what we have been doing. Yes. So now is the time that we must inform people, and we must quickly inform people, and we must quickly reverse this trend so that a world remains for our children to stay. So we have to turn away from animal products now that we know that is the main cause of global warming. To your question about greed and wrong actions, yes, I have already mentioned that it is true that part of the global economic crisis is a result of overproduction and over-focusing on profits. These so-called profits can include things like grain that is fed to livestock, animals, instead of directly feeding the hungry in the world. Such a focus can lead to the appearance of greed. However, people have been misinformed. Yes, the person who lives this way is truly not happy, even if he doesn't know why, even if he wasn't informed correctly. But he's unhappy inside, and often he's not aware of the harm this meat operation causes. So even scientific studies have revealed that only through giving and sharing do we gain inner peace of fulfillment. Only live a peaceful life can we enjoy peace. So to be saved from this modern time disaster, we, humanity as a whole, must turn to a greater consideration of others. This is the reminder of virtue that is truly of the greatest importance, because adopting the vegetarian diet lifestyle is the only way, in fact, to preserve any world, not just our world. The Buddha's teaching never failed. Jesus' teaching never failed. We must be compassionate. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Doctor, Professor. Professor Choima, thank you.
Thank you, Master.
Thank you.
Some of the diseases related to meat consumption, bacterial microbes, pesticides and enzymes found in cheese derived from the inner stomach linings of other animals. Up to 80% of the calories in cheese are from pure fat. Antibiotic-resistant superbug infections from a strain of Staphylococcus aureus. Blue tongue disease. E. coli, Salmonella, bird flu, mad cow disease or Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, 90% of the population at risk. Pig's disease or PMWS, listeriosis, shellfish poisoning, pre-eclampsia, Campylobacter, Clostridium difficile, diseases hidden in healthy-appearing livestock. Some of the costs of meat eating: heart disease, over 17 million lives lost globally each year. Cost of cardiovascular disease is at least $1 trillion a year. Cancer: over 1 million new colon cancer patients diagnosed each year. More than 600,000 colon cancer-related mortalities annually. In the United States alone, colon cancer treatment costs about $6.5 billion. Millions of people are newly diagnosed with other meat-related cancers every year. Diabetes: 246 million people are affected worldwide. An estimated $174 billion spent each year on treatment. Obesity: worldwide 1.6 billion adults are overweight, with 400 million more who are obese. Costs $93 billion each year for medical expenses in the United States alone. At least 2.6 million people die annually from problems related to being overweight or obese. Environmental: use up to 70% of clean water, pollute most of the water bodies, deforest the lungs of the earth, uses up to 43% of the world's cereal, uses up to 85% of the world's soy, cause world hunger and wars, 80% cause of global warming, plus more. Some of the costs of milk consumption: breast, prostate and testicular cancer from hormones present in milk, listeria and Crohn's disease. Hormones and saturated fat leads to osteoporosis, obesity, diabetes and heart disease. Linked to higher incidences of multiple sclerosis. Classified as a major allergen. Lactose intolerance. Plus more.
За баярлалаа. Багш Чанха тантай бид бүхэн дэлхийн нийтийн хүндрэлтэнд тулгамдж байгаа энэ чухал асуудлаар уулзаж хурал хийж байгаад бол бид бүхэн баярлж байна. За ингээд би багш танаас асуух нэг асуулт байна. За энэ бол дэлхийн уур амьсгалын өөрчлөлт дулаар манай гаригийн хүмүүн олны эрүүл мэнд, урт удаан наслалтанд сөргөөр нөлөөлөх үйл явц болж байгаа нь Монголын ард түмнийг бол тойрч гарсангүй. Иймд Монголын ард түмний оюун санаанд уур амьсгал дулааны өөрчлөгдөх үйл явцаас сэргийлэх чиглэлээр Бурхны сургаалыг төлөвшүүлэхэд бид юу гэвэл зах ёстой вэ? Энэ асуултанд хариулж өгнө үү? За.
The question is Jan Nagi, PhD in Medical Science, the academician of Mongolian Academy of Science, Director of Environment Health Research Center.
And question is, global warming and climate change is negatively affecting the health and the lifespan of the people of our planet. This picture did not exclude the Mongolians. Is there a way to teach Mongolians to protect themselves from the climate change process through spreading and introducing Buddha's teachings into their lives? What should we do in order to achieve that?
Dr. Nagni, thank you for your concern, which is everyone else's concern. Our association members in Mongolia sharing this concern have translated a number of materials into your language that explains the urgent condition of our planet, as well as the suggestions to stop global warming. And you are correct. Buddha's teaching would be very good to introduce as part of the solution to global warming, because the Buddha taught respect for all sentient beings. This means not harming or killing animals. Therefore, as a Buddhist, we should avoid animal products and instead adopt a vegan, free of animals lifestyle. Our greatest protection comes from virtue, comes from our high moral standard. Nothing else. We must be kind to others, including our animal co-inhabitants. The Mongolian people, with their rich heritage of living in harmony with the land through the nomadic lifestyle already understand these qualities. So, however, if we want to sow good karma, better karma, we must stop all killing and adopt a plant-based diet. To achieve the noble vegetarian lifestyle is also much easier nowadays. We can go to suprememastertv.com to find all kinds of recipes and share with fellow Mongolians about how to cook vegetarian. Everything on the website is freely available to download. We also have scriptures from the world religions, including Buddhism, which lists out the reason for each of us to maintain a vegetarian diet. So please feel free to pass those information out for your beloved people. The more people know about the noble teaching of past and present masters, the easier it will be to lead a more loving and protected life. Thank you, Dr. Najni.
Thank you, Master.
Thank you.
The next questioner is Anga Thamsurang, State Inspector, City Office, State Specialized Inspection Agency.
Төгс гэгэрсэн их багш танаа. Таны хүн төрлөختний төлөө хийж буй ариун үйлсэд чинь чин сэтгэлээрээс талархаж байдаг. Монголчууд бид буян үлдэж нүглийг дэвчихийг мэддэг нь эртнээс шүтэж ирсэн будтай шашнаас улбаатай билээ. Иймээс бурхан багшийн дүүчин өдөр сар бүр бэлгийн тоолтын шиний нэгэн буюу 15-ны өдрүүдэд ихнэх хүмүүс мах амсалгүй цагаан хоол идэхийг хичээдгээ. Нэгэн тарах материал дээр та дэлхийн дулаалд бидний үйл үр технологиос илүүтэйгээр нөлөө үзүүлсэн гэж хэлсэн байдаг. Гэтэл үүлийн үрийг ихнэх хүмүүс шашны хүрээнд л ойлгож түүний жинхэнэ утга учирыг төдийлөн сайн мэддэггүй. Амьтны аим хороож махан хүнс хэрэглэх нь өөртөө үүлийн үр үүсгдэг болохыг хүмүүст энгийн байдлаар хэрхэн ойлгуулвал зохилтой вэ? Их багш таны бэлэг ухаанд баярлалаа.
Greetings to Supreme Master Chingha. I'm sincerely appreciating your work for the world. I'm extremely happy to participate in this special event and have the opportunity to ask a question from the Supreme Master. Thanks to our traditional Buddhist beliefs, we Mongols know the benefit of doing more virtuous deeds and abstaining from sinful actions. Every year on Buddha's birthday, everybody eats vegetarian. Every month on the new moon and the full moon days, people also prefer to eat vegetarian. As for myself, I became a vegetarian for quite few years. It gave a tremendous amount of positive changes to my spirit and body. I do agree with your opinion that if humans become vegetarians, we can save the planet. I think that eating vegetarian food would reduce karmic hindrances of humans. However, most people think that karma is a religious concept only, and they fail to understand its true implications. My question is, Supreme Master, could you please explain the deep meaning and reason why vegetarianism would reduce the karma of humankind, therefore is able to save our planet?
Hello, Madam. Kanakai. Yes. First of all, congratulate to you, Madam, and thank you for your wise, compassionate choice of vegetarianism. The concept of karma, or in the Western terminology, the consequence of our action. As you saw, so shall you reap in the Bible. It's not a Buddhist or Christian concept alone. It's a logical term, meaning that for every action there is a consequence. And the law of karma, meaning the cause and effect, is very exact. So we must stop the killing of other beings, and consequently our life will be spared. By being vegetarian, our human's consciousness is raised up to a higher level, cleaning up and elevating us to our original noble self again. As we plant the seeds of compassion, we will reap the love and peace in return. So to reduce bad karma, we must reverse our actions and create good karma by being benevolent, being kind, and being merciful. Then all these qualities will return to us in manifold. We will beget mercy from heaven and be able to preserve this precious planet and our lives. Stop animal raising. As we know by now, and animal breeding is the foremost cause of damage to our planet and the health of the people even, and the detrimental effect on our environment as well. It will destroy the world if we do not stop eating and producing meat and animal products. Animal and meat production has been found by scientists to emit more greenhouse gases than all the transportation sectors combined. Methane, which is one of the primary gases emitted, causes up to 72 times more heat to be trapped in the atmosphere than the carbon dioxide. However, methane also disappears much more quickly than carbon dioxide. So if we stop eating meat, we stop producing animal product, then the planet will be able to cool down almost immediately. This is scientifically very logical also. There is no need to even talk about the moral issue. So the vegetarian diet is the fastest, easiest, and most effective solution for a life-sustaining planet. Thank you, ma'am.
Баярлалаа.
Thank you, Master.
Vegetarianism in religion.
The Baha'i Faith. Regarding the eating of animal flesh and abstinence therefrom, know thou of a certainty that, in the beginning of creation, God determined the food of every living being, and to eat contrary to that determination is not approved. Selections from the Baha'i writings of some aspects of health and healing.
Buddhism. All meats eaten by living beings are of their own relatives. Lankavatara Sutra.
Gaudai. The most important thing is to stop killing, because animals also have souls and understand like humans. If we kill and eat them, then we owe them a blood debt. Teachings of the Saints.
Christianity. Meats for the belly and the belly for meats, but God shall destroy both it and them. Holy Bible.
And while the flesh was yet between their teeth, ere it was chewed, the wrath of the Lord was kindled against the people, and the Lord smote the people with a very great plague. Holy Bible.
Confucianism. All men have a mind which cannot bear to see the sufferings of others. The superior man, having seen the animals alive, cannot bear to see them die. Having heard their dying cries, he cannot bear to eat their flesh. Mencius Essenes.
I am come to end the sacrifices and feasts of blood, and if ye cease not offering and eating of flesh and blood, the wrath of God shall not cease from you. Gospel of the Holy 12.
Hinduism. Since you cannot bring killed animals back to life, you are responsible for killing them. Therefore you are going to hell. There is no way for your deliverance. Adilila.
He who desires to augment his own flesh by eating the flesh of other creatures lives in misery in whatever species he may take his birth. Mahabharata anew.
Islam. Allah will not give mercy to anyone except those who give mercy to other creatures. Hadith.
Do not allow your stomachs to become graveyards of animals. Hadith.
Jainism. A true monk should not accept such food and drink as has been especially prepared for him involving the slaughter of living beings. Sutra Kritanga.
Judaism. And whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eateth any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eateth blood, and will cut him off from among his people. Holy Bible. Blood meaning flesh.
Sikhism. Those mortals who consume marijuana, flesh and wine, no matter what pilgrimages, fasts and rituals they follow, they will all go to hell. Guru Granth Sahib.
Taoism. Do not go into the mountain to catch birds and nets, nor to the water to poison fishes and minnows. Do not butcher the ox that plows your field. Tract of the Quiet Way.
Tibetan Buddhism. The offering to the deities of meat obtained by killing animate beings is like offering a mother the flesh of her own child, and this is a grievous failure. The supreme path of discipleship.
Zoroastrianism. Those plants I, Ahura Mazda, or God, rain down upon the earth to bring food to the faithful and fodder to the beneficent cow. Avesta.
Everybody knows that vegetarian diet is good for health and to save the planet. They will be awakening their own great, compassionate, loving self-nature, and then their level of consciousness will rise up automatically, and they will understand more than they ever did, and they'll be closer to heaven than what they are right now.
The next question comes from Bairma Byamsurang, President of Mongolia's Coalition of Environmental NGOs, leader of movement, owners of Huvskul Lake.
За ингээд юуны өмнө дэлхийн дулаарлыг зогсоохын төлөө таны хийж байгаа ажил, оруулж байгаа хувь нэмрийг байгаль хамгаалахын төлөө үйл ажиллагаа явуулдаг хүний хувьд маш их талархан дэмжиж явагдгаа илэрхийлмээр байна. Өнөөдөр дэлхийн улс орнууд байгалийн нөөц баялаг руу уралдан дайрч уулгалан цөлмөж байна. Эд зүйлс хоол хүнсний хэрэглээ хэтэрхий цамаан бас үрлэгэн өндөр үртэг үнэтэй хэрэглээгээрээ өөр хоорондоо өрсөлдсөн ийм эрүүл бус шинжтэй болжээ. Монголчууд бидний хувьд л гэхэд цагаан сарын баяраараа хамгийн тарган хоньны хамгийн том ууцыг ширээн дээрээ тавьж өөр хоорондоо гайхуулан баярхдаг буруу хөвшил хандлага тогтсон байна. Энэ буруу зуршил зохисгүй хэрэглээгээ хамгаалan бие биендээ сурчлах боллоо. Арх уудаг нь архиа, тамхи татдаг нь тамхиа, мах иддэг нь махаа хамгаалan зөвтгөж өөрсдийгөө зөв хэрэглэе гэж итгүүлэн үнэмшүүлж байгаа. Энэ бүхэн нь бол шунал хүсэл, ад чөтгөрийн хорлол, эсвэл одоо буруу хэрэглээний хүлээс гэж ойлгож болох уу? Та энд хариултгүй юу?
Dear Master, as an environmentalist, I'm greatly thankful and supportive for your good deeds and contributions for the better world. It devastates me to see how nations greedily using up all Earth's resources. Society is drowning in overconsumption of food and other commodities while people are materially competing against each other almost mindlessly. We Mongolians, for example, have developed the wrong value system, such as during Lunar New Year, we organize a big feast at our houses and show off to each other who has the bigger plate of fat sheep on the table. This way, we advertise and promote negative habits and unhealthy consumption. Alcoholics keep drinking, smokers keep smoking, and meat eaters keep eating meat while constantly defending themselves and even believe that they are doing the right thing. Can all of this be understood as a result of greed, desire, or as a devil's curse or bondage of unreasonable consumerism?
Madam Bayam Basuran, I agree with your feeling about the needless action of taking away from the earth as well as the harmful activities of drinking and smoking, along with meat consumption. The people who drink alcohol and smoke as well as eating meat, they have not been well informed, madam. So we will have to make them aware of the harmful effect of these actions and substance. We have listed all these on www.suprememastertv.com. You can download them freely to print out and distribute to anyone to inform them. The long damaging effects of these substances include all forms of cancer, sickness, heart problems, incurable diseases, fatal diseases from smoking, as well as shortening life. Alcohol is most damaging to the nervous system. It shrinks our brain, nerves, and can even cause damage to our brain system. While meat eating makes us susceptible to many forms of disease, as well as heart problems and cancer, this is a well-known fact from medical research and scientific evidence. Overconsumption in general can lead to even more mass production and overuse of such harmful substances, as pesticides, which hurt our fragile ecosystem, causing disastrous effect for not only humans but flora and fauna as well. So it is true that we should be more aware and inform others about all this impact on the life of every being on the planet. Through this, as well as the animal-sparing vegetarian lifestyle, we will naturally become more frugal, clear-minded, and more loving, and help to stop world hunger, war, and disease forever.
Thank you, Supreme Master.
Thank you, Madam.
Some of the tragic tolls of alcohol. 1.8 million alcohol-related deaths per year worldwide. Cost of alcohol-related illnesses, $186.4 billion in the United States, up to $210 to $665 billion globally. Disease, cancer of the liver, breast, colon, liver disease, cardiovascular disease, metal toxicity. Brain damage, amnesia and dementia, brain shrinkage. Organ failure, heart, liver, kidneys, stomach, pancreas, eyes. Birth defects, mental retardation, fetal alcohol syndrome, stunted growth, facial deformity, sudden infant death syndrome, miscarriage. Alcohol-related violence, child abuse, 50% of cases. Violence toward loved ones, 30% of cases. Violent acts, 40 to 80% of cases. Suicides, 20 to 50% of cases. Plus more. Some of the tragic tolls of smoking. 5.4 million smoking-related deaths per year worldwide. Cost of smoking-related illnesses, $96 billion in the United States alone. Speeds the aging process. Toxic residues of third-hand smoke. Heart disease, coronary thrombosis, cerebral thrombosis, kidney failure. Cancer, lung cancer, esophagus cancer, kidneys cancer, bladder cancer. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, emphysema, bronchitis, stroke, impotence, additional harms for secondhand smoking, sudden infant death syndrome, infertility, miscarriages, and premature deliveries, childhood asthma, bronchitis, ear infection, cleft lip or palate, hyperactivity and aggression in asthmatic boys, circulatory problems in women, plus more.
The next questioner is Gururaksha Tseuksurung, Principal of High School Number 1 and Biology Teacher.
Төгс гэгэрсэн их багш чанга таны ариун гэгэн өндөр дээд оюун ухааныг бишрэн шүтэж явдгаа илэрхийлье. Таны хэлсэн ярьсан бичсэн зүйл байгалийн шинжлэх ухааны агуу их ухаанд одоо үнссэн байдаг гэж боддог. Хүн төрлөختөн махан хоолыг олон мянган жил хэрэгэлсэн учраас хүний удамшил генд нь нөлөөлсөн болов уу гэж бодож байна. Ийм учраас хичнээн ухуулах сурталчилгааны ажлыг хийлээч гэсэн цаг хугацаа алдаж үр дүн муу байна. Тиймээс орчин үеийн шинжлэх ухааны технологийн өөр ямар аргыг хэрэглэж хүн төрөлхтнийг махан хоолноос богино хугацааны дотор татгалзахад хүргэж болох вэ?
Dear Master, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to you for your humanitarian and compassionate work. Humans have genetically inherited a habit of meat eating since thousands of years, and it seems to be difficult to change this habit in a relatively short period of time. The awareness raising and advertisements are employed in order to convince people to quit meat. However, the result is slow, yet the time is so short. Is there any way to eradicate this meat-eating habit by using modern science and technology?
Principal Shevek Soren, how do we do that? You think we can inject, give them a drug and then they stop eating the meat? That will not do. I think that will be forbidden by law. Because people have free will that even God and Buddha do not want to limit. You see, we have to reason to people and tell them why and the cause of it and the importance of stopping eating meat. When they know about it, people are not bad. They just don't know. They just not have the time to do research. Even governments do not have time to do research on this because we did not suspect that such a long tradition could be wrong. You see, only now when the planet starts heating up, then we begin to do research about the harmful effect of meat diet. So we all know that it's hard to quit this, but it's harder to lose our planet. It's harder to lose this only home for our children. If we have a choice to exchange that piece of meat for the whole planet and all the lives and everything else on the planet, all the comfort and the invention, all the life that we're having, is worth it. But people must know why. They must be informed. So we just return to our true noble self, the Buddha nature self, if people know what it is, why they should stop eating meat. I think they will stop right away if they know. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Supreme Master, for so enlightening wisdom.
Thank you.
Our next questioner is Batsakhan Hashbat, Vice President of Union of Mongolian Students.
Сайн байцгаана уу. Ингээд их багшаа хүн төрөлхтний төлөө хийж байгаа энэ хөлстөн амжилтээр одоо мэдчилж байна. За уур амьсгалын өөрчлөлтийг бууруулахад иргэн бүр залуу хүн бүр бол оролцох хэрэгтэй гэдэг бол бид бүхэн бүгдээрээ мэдж байна. За дэлхийн өнөөдөр энэ маягаар явбал бидэнд учрах хор аюулыг ч гэсэн бид бүхэн бас хамтдаа мэдэрч энэ танхимд сууж байна. Гэхдээ дэлхийн ертөнцийг аврах цагаан хоолтон болохоос өөрийн боломжууд байдаг талаар та бас тодорхой хэлж өгөхийг хүсье. За би өөрөө бас цагаан хоолтон болъё гэж бодож явдаг. Гэвч надад бол тийм орчин үнэхээр бас бүрдэж өгөхгүй байгаа. Тийм учраас улс орны удирдагчдыг үүнд уриалахад бид хэрхэн яаж оролцвол амжилтанд хүрэх юм боломж байна вэ? Ер нь одоо энэ уриалга үйл ажиллагааны ард бас ямар нэгэн шашны үйл ажиллагаа байгаа юу? Энэ талаар бас би тодруулж асуумаар байна. Их багштай энэ тал дээр бас санал хэлхийг хүсье. Танд бас баярлалаа.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
We know that every citizen and every young person of this world has a duty to contribute in the efforts for neutralizing the climate change. We understand the danger that is threatening us if the world continues the way it is now. But is there any other way to save the world except for becoming vegetarian? If there is, what it is? I try to become a vegetarian myself, but my environment is still not so conducive for that. What should we do in order to succeed and convince the leaders of our nation? Is there any religious ideology and theory behind this campaign and activities? Please tell us your opinion, Supreme Master.
Young Mr. Kasbert, I am impressed by your efforts as a young man who try to improve yourself and help our world. The first step is vegetarian. Again and again. I'm sorry, if I have other solution, I would have told you, and we don't need this conference. Because vegetarian is the quickest and most effective and long-lasting forever. And it will halt the global warming right where it is, and it will even improve our world. Our world will become better because of the loving energy that we generate. Being vegetarian stops the killing circle and reduce greenhouse gases most quickly. Planting trees, green technology, sustainable energy, etc., can help also, but it takes longer time and it's not karmically effective. We can maybe use a green technology or riding bicycle forever, banish all the cars, but that's not enough, as I have told you before. Being vegetarian, we stop 80% of global warming, the greenhouse gases, we stop. So, vegetarian, I mean vegan. But everything else we can try. We have to be frugal in any case, but we don't have time to even develop technology, even if there is such thing as a technology to develop to erase greenhouse gases and stop the global warming. We do not have enough time to wait. In this critical, dangerous period of world peril, it will only worsen the effect if we keep waiting longer and longer. We have to start to be vegetarian because a noble lifestyle, a compassionate energy will dispel all the bad karma, all the negative influence that has been created from the killing of other beings. They have been crying, screaming, and their suffering reaches heaven and pierces the earth. We cannot reap anything good out of something so bad like that. We must foster loving kindness. We must begin benevolent action. Just to be vegetarian, that's very simple. Nothing else truly necessary for the moment. Thank you.
За баярлалаа. Зохион байгуулагчдаас баярлалаа.
We can also try to create a more conducive environment for vegetarianism. You can write to your government. Yes, you can pass out urgent information about meat harm and vegetarian good to save our planet. See, you tell them all. You print out all the information in a small leaflet and pass it out whenever you can. Concerning government, I don't have power to change any nation's policy, but I'm trying hard to, like writing letters or having television, hoping people will listen. Please do your part in your country. I trust in you, young people. You have the power of the present and the future. You have the power to protect our planet. Please use it. Thank you so much.
Some of the benefits of a vegetarian diet: lower blood pressure, lower cholesterol levels, reduce type 2 diabetes, prevent stroke conditions, reverse atherosclerosis, reduce heart disease risk 50%, reduce heart surgery risk 80%, prevent many forms of cancer, stronger immune system, increase life expectancy up to 15 years, higher IQ, conserve up to 70% clean water, save over 70% of the Amazonian rainforest from clearance for animal grazing. A solution for world hunger. Free up 3,433 million hectares of land. Free up 760 million tons of grain every year, or half the world's grain supply. Consume 2/3 less fossil fuels than those used for meat production. Reduce pollution from untreated animal waste. Maintain cleaner air. Save 4.5 tons of emissions per US household per year. Stop 80% of global warming. Plus more. Save your life. Be veg. Go green.
The next questioner is Barazos Demchik, head of Unhushuk, NGO of Southern Gobiamak province.
За төгсгөөрсөн их багш Шанхай танд энэ өдрийн түмэн амар амгалан айлтгая. Ингээд эртүгэд эдүгийн монголчууд яаж хоолж байсан тухай нэг хоёр өгүүлбэр хэлээд нэгэн хүсэл тавьмаар байна. Монголчууд үед дэлхийн соёл иргэншлийг хөл алдан дуурайж хэрэглээний соёлгээчд уруу татагдсан улс юм аа. Уг нь ухамсараа авч үлдэхийн тулд өдөр тутмын гал тогооноос хүртэл цэрвэж бүх үндэстэн хоолны хойноос хөөцөлдөж байхад бид ганцаараа олон зуунд араараа сууж үлдсэн улсаа. Бид садл идэх нь бүхэл гаднаа ургасан байгалийн хүнсэнд ам хүрдэггүй байсан цаг саяхан юм аа. Монголчууд үндэснээр цагаан хоолтон байсан. Тэгээд нэг л өдөр үүнийгээ бүдүүлэг гэж ойлгоод соёл төмөс болох гээд амьтны ам таслах дон шүглжсэн юм аа. Одоо эргэж хуучин голдролд нь оруулах арга чарга хайсан хүн энэ улс орны хамгийн тэнэг мэтээр ойлгогдогч гажууд л бас байгаа. Дэлхийн гамшиг боллоо гэхэд ядаж хамгийн бага хоолыг амин зуулга болгож чадсан хүнд тэсэж үлдэх болов уу гэж бодож байна. Та юу гэсэн болоо?
Greetings to you, Supreme Master.
Greeting to you.
We Mongols lost our mind while trying to imitate the so-called civilized world and are taken over by consumerism. We were once the nation that was more concerned about our consciousness rather than our physical body. When all other nations were chasing their food, we somehow managed to stay behind, not having daily cooking or by not developing a national cuisine at all. Until recently, Mongols did not even touch the food naturally grown right next to them, let alone be bothered whether they filled their stomach to the fullest satisfaction. Unfortunately, one day we decided that it was not civilized, and while trying to become cultured, we got infected with the mania for taste. Today, anybody who is trying to bring us back to the old-time reasonable habit is regarded the biggest fool in the country. If the disaster comes to this world, do you think that people with the minimum food habit have a better chance for survival?
Yes, I do think so. I do think people with the minimum food habit have more chance to survive because also we don't need that much food. Yes, if we eat too much, sometimes we cannot even think. Even vegetarian food, we don't have to eat so much. So right now, the most important is we have to try to avoid the disaster that we are going to lose the planet, lose our home. Actually, we should not have to worry about food because we have it abundantly on our planet. It's just that we have to use it wisely. Instead of using it to feed the animals, we use it to feed human, and that will be fine. Regarding the Mongolian old cuisine, without cuisine, I like that very much. I like that concept very much. I wish that the Mongolian can return to their original tradition of non-cooking and more vegetarian, living according to the high moral standard of Buddhism. So now it is maybe the time to bring it back again. Maybe people will listen this time in the dire situation of our planet. We should remind everyone to be veg, to invoke the mercy of the Buddhas, and we will be better protected. You see, studies have shown that if the grain currently go into livestock, animals for feed, if we feed it to humans, then all the hungry in the world will disappear, and the reversal of global warming from a vegan diet will result in more plentiful growing conditions. So we even have more food than now if we turn to vegetarian diet. We are already facing so many untold natural disasters on a daily basis, such as earthquakes, severe storms, ever seen before, volcanoes, ice melting, and many islands, many nations have sunk under the water already, and many are sinking. And the climate has become, very, very strange. Like it became warm where it should be cold, and it became cold where it should be hot. And this can only be alleviated through a return to the ancient ways of our wiser elders, like those in Mongolian of the old time, one that exists in harmony with nature and respect of other beings, a true brotherhood of love with all. Thank you for bringing that back up, sir. We can still do that. It's not too late.
Thank you, Master. As Master say, it is time for us to embrace our ancestors' values. Our ancestors of Mongolia, 9 months a year on vegetarian food, it is time to embrace back the value.
Wow, how about that? Even 9 months a year. So just another few months, I think the Mongolian can do it. No big deal. Let's make Mongolian the first ever vegan or vegetarian country in the whole planet.
Yes, Master.
Let's do it. Just a few more months.
That's a great challenge.
Can we do that?
Sure, we can do that.
Our ancestors respected that value, so I'm pretty sure, and I'm challenging Mongolians to re-embrace that value again, the vegetarian diet.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that Mongolian has such a beautiful tradition. Now it's easy for Mongolian to lead the world into doing it. Maybe if Mongolian can do it, everybody can look up to it and say, oh, they can do it, we can.
Yes, Master, that is true. That is true.
Wonderful tradition. Please, please, please do it. Please tell your people to return to that diet. Ask your audience if they're okay with that.
Shall we do it?
Yes.
Very exciting.
Yeah?
European Parliament supports reducing meat to lower greenhouse gases.
Call vote. Vote is now open.
Reduce your meat consumption or stop eating meat totally.
During discussions on greenhouse gas reduction goals, the Climate Committee of the European Parliament officially recognized livestock's contribution to global warming and recommended a reduction of subsidies to the livestock industry to curb methane.
My name is Jens Holm. I'm a member of the European Parliament. Please, be veg, go green, save the planet.
Our next question comes from
Тогтун Жаргал Jamsran, Director of the Sector of Diet Treatment, Mothers and Children's Research Hospital of Mongolia.
Welcome, madam.
Танд энэ өдрийн амар амгалан айлтгая. Тантай өнөөдөр ингэж учирч байгаадаа би туйлын их баяртай байна. Монголчууд бол ерөөсөө махахгүйгээр амьдралаа төсөөлхийн аргагүй гэж их ярьдаг. Тэгэд энийгээ бол цаг агаарын тийм эрсдэрс уур амьсгалтайгаа нэлээд холбон тайлбарладаг. За тэгээд гэвч бол сүүлийн үед бол биднүүсийн дунд цагаан хоолтон маш ихээр нэмэгдэж байгаа. За эдгээр хүмүүс маань бол маш сайхан тийм эрүүл сарвал амьдарч байна. Тэгээд энэ хүмүүсээ бол цагаан хоолтой хүмүүсээ бид нар дагаж дуурахын оронд шоолох, амны зугаа болгох нь бол одоо хүртэл их байдаг. За тэгэхээр ер нь бол бид нар цагаан хоолтныг маш их ингэ шоолоод байдаг. Тэгээ нүгэл буян ялгаж сурахын тулд бол заавалчгүй гэгэрсэн байх ёстой юу? Бэлгийнүүдэд заавалчгүй нээлгсэн байх ёстой юу гэж асуужээ.
Greetings to you, Master.
Greeting.
Mongols believe that they cannot survive without meat diet. They like to explain and justify this by the extreme climate of the country. However, in recent years, the number of vegetarians amongst us increased significantly. They are living a healthy, normal life. The rest of us, instead of following their example, tease them, make fun of them. Do you think it is really necessary to have our wisdom eye opened in order to see right from wrong, virtue from sin?
Madam Jamsran, San you.
San Benota, San.
Yes, to some extent, our own wisdom should be rekindled again in order to be more aware of right from wrong and to distinguish virtues from non-virtues. But many of us know these things deep inside already, and the Buddhist teaching has made it very clear, but may need reminding, This is what we are doing in spreading the message through the Supreme Master Television and the SOS flyers and booklets, etc., etc., and vegetarian diet, etc. We try our best to inform others and to tell them to wake up, be awakened again to their own self, their true great self. Beyond that, everyone has to be responsible for themselves in upholding these standard of values in our own lives. As you said, Madam Jamsran, the health of the vegetarians in your country is a testimonial to its physical benefits. In more and more scientific circles throughout the world, the vegetarian diet is being recognized and held for its exemplary contributions to physical health. Many world-class athletes, even boxers, bodybuilders, champions of Olympic, etc., have chosen to forego animal products without any sacrifice to their endurance or agility. In fact, they report experiencing greater strength and stamina. So perhaps you can spread some of this updated information, which is freely available from our website, suprememastertv.com, or from our association members in your country. We'd be so glad to work with you to spread this message, and we would be happy to provide whatever you need so that you can convince other people. Additionally, beneficial is the peace of mind that comes from a vegetarian diet. This is the peace of mind knowing that one is living in such a way as to preserve the planet, not just for ourselves, but for future generations. That is truly a heroic action. So, to present the vegetarian solution, we can tell people that there should be a hero now. They should save the planet. Because it is true that if we don't act quickly, our children will not be able to survive, much less be able to enjoy any meat or anything else. Just forgo meat and we have everything again. We have the same and better planet, and we will be more clear in the mind to even invent incredible apparatus in the future, UFO even, who knows? And we can visit other planets and enjoy abundance and more civilized, more comfortable world. Thank you, Madam Chamsran.
Vegetarianism in religion.
The Baha'i Faith. Regarding the eating of animal flesh and abstinence therefrom, know thou of a certainty that, in the beginning of creation, God determined the food of every living being, and to eat contrary to that determination is not approved. Selections from the Baha'i writings of some aspects of health and healing.
Buddhism. All meats eaten by living beings are of their own relatives. Lankavatara Sutra.
Gaudai. The most important thing is to stop killing, because animals also have souls and understand like humans. If we kill and eat them, then we owe them a blood debt. Teachings of the Saints.
Christianity. Meats for the belly, and the belly for meats, but God shall destroy both it and them. Holy Bible.
And while the flesh was yet between their teeth, ere it was chewed, the wrath of the Lord was kindled against the people, and the Lord smote the people with a very great plague. Holy Bible.
Confucianism. All men have a mind which cannot bear to see the sufferings of others. The superior man, having seen the animals alive, cannot bear to see them die. Having heard their dying cries, he cannot bear to eat their flesh. Mencius. Essenes.
I am come to end the sacrifices and feasts of blood, and if ye cease not offering and eating of flesh and blood, the wrath of God shall not cease from you. Gospel of the Holy 12.
Hinduism. Since you cannot bring killed animals back to life, you are responsible for killing them. Therefore you are going to hell. There is no way for your deliverance. Adilila.
He who desires to augment his own flesh by eating the flesh of other creatures lives in misery in whatever species he may take his birth. Mahabharata anew.
Islam. Allah will not give mercy to anyone except those who give mercy to other creatures. Hadith.
Do not allow your stomachs to become graveyards of animals. Hadith.
Jainism. A true monk should not accept such food and drink as has been especially prepared for him involving the slaughter of living beings. Sutra Kritanga.
Judaism. And whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eateth any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eateth blood, and will cut him off from among his people. Holy Bible. Blood meaning flesh.
Sikhism. Those mortals who consume marijuana, flesh and wine, no matter what pilgrimages, fasts and rituals they follow, they will all go to hell. Guru Granth Sahib.
Taoism. Do not go into the mountain to catch birds and nets, nor to the water to poison fishes and minnows. Do not butcher the ox that plows your field. Tract of the Quiet Way.
Tibetan Buddhism. The offering to the deities of meat obtained by killing animate beings is like offering a mother the flesh of her own child, and this is a grievous failure. The supreme path of discipleship.
Zoroastrianism. Those plants I, Ahura Mazda, or God, rain down upon the earth to bring food to the faithful and fodder to the beneficent cow. Avesta.
Everybody knows that vegetarian diet is good for health and to save the planet. They will be awakening their own great, compassionate, loving self-nature, and then their level of consciousness will rise up automatically, and they will understand more than they ever did, and they'll be closer to heaven than what they are right now.
It is thrilling to announce to you again that this conference is broadcasting live all around the world through Supreme Master Television and SupremeMasterTV.com and TV9 in Mongolia. So let's continue.
Thank you again, the TV9.
The next questioner is Алтан Хуйг Лувсан Дорж, teacher of Monos Medical University.
Сайн байна уу гшаа.
За танаас асуулт асуух боломж олгосонд би их баяртай байна.
San Banyo.
Баярлалаа багшаа. За монголчууд бидний амжиргааны онцлог нь нүүдлийн соёл иргэншил юм аа. 420 гаруй төрөл зүйлийн ургамлаар хоолдог 5 төрлийн малыг ашиглан ашиг шимийн хүрцээр ирсэн билээ. Үүнээс монголчуудын дээдлэн хүндэлдэг эдээний дээж нь сүү цагаан эдээ юм аа. Төлд ихлэн сүүг нь эвлэгж өгсөний дараа сүүг нь гараараа сааж маш олон төрлийн удаан хугацаагаар хэрэглэдэг чанартай амин димээр баялаг эдээ ундааг махны оронд хэрэгжилж байсан сайхан уламжлал одоо ч хөдөөд хадгалагдсаар байна. Цаашид нүгэл хилэнцгүй цагаан эдээний хэрэгцээг боловсронгуй зохистойгоор хэрэглэхэд юуг анхаарахад хэрэгтэй вэ? Энийг хэлж өгнө та.
Dear Master, I'm really grateful, honored to have a chance to ask a question from you. Honorable Supreme Master, the sustainability of life and the source of income is dependent on nomadic livestock breeding in Mongolia. We have 5 kinds of livestock who consume over 420 kinds of species of vegetation. From these animals, we get milk that we revere very much. We make sure that the young of the animals are first allowed to be fed by their mother's milk before we milk the animal with our own hands. Then we use the milk to create all kinds of dairy products, which we use as a substitute for meat. This kind of practice is still strong in the countryside as the way to avoid animal slaughter, and the dairy is cruelty-free. What should we take into account if we continue the use dairy products?
All right. Mr. Lusandorji, thank you for your question, which is very, very comprehensive and very understandable for the lifestyle of the Mongolian. I do understand that, and I do respect the way of life that the Mongolian practice with very much consideration for the animals. And because the cow lives completely naturally, with no artificial intervention or mistreatment, then perhaps in this case it is okay. But even better still is the milk from the soya, yes, and the mother milk for the children, and for the babies, and soya milk for the children onward. It has all the nutrition that we need. And the protein of the plant-based or soya is even best suited to humans' consumption and digestion, more so even than milk. Recently, there was a research stating that during the time that the children are in school, they were forced to drink milk and take dairy product. And during that time, they have more coughing or asthmatic symptom. But these symptoms stop immediately during the summertime when the children don't go to school and don't take milk that frequently. And another example is in elder women. The condition of fragile bones is more frequent in countries where dairy products are consumed in large quantities. Also, it has been shown that humans lose their ability to digest lactose by the time we're 4 years old, which causes the problem in absorbing the milk protein after that time. So furthermore, humans are the only beings that drink the milk of another being. So you can switch from the cow's milk as well as animal-based industries that use the goat to instead planting, we can plant organic fruit and vegetable. Soya milk is very good, and we have even rice milk, we have almond milk, we have all kind of other tasty and nutritious milk which give us no allergy, give us no health problem. That is the best solution and the most noble example. Nowadays we have tons of veggie material that can replace everything, even cashmere. I wear all the time the veggie fur without animal product, without animal fur, and it's even warmer. In your country, Mongolia, 45% of your livestock is goats, and the goats are the one who destroy the pasture the most because they eat also the root of the plant. So the overgrazing and overstocking has happened due to cashmere production. Yeah, not just the cow. And even if we treat the animals so kindly, the way the Mongolian do, it is still better for us to use animal-free diet, unless we have just a couple of cows in the house as a pet, and they have extra product like milk, and they give it to you, and if you like to use it now and then, it's fine. But it's the best for us, for the planet, is to have less animals, because animals, they emit methane gas, which is the very lethal greenhouse gas, which causes global warming more potential than the carbon dioxide, you see? So being kind to animals is also being kind to ourselves. And the animal product or the animal raising is the cause of global warming. So it is good that we sacrifice even the dairy product to protect our planet for our children. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Master.
Yes. We don't even need cashmere. We have, artificial fabric, which look fantastic, elegant. I wear them all the time.
Thank you, Master.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next questioner is Bodjao Sevjit, Senior PhD in Medical Science, Senior Professor, National University of Medical Science.
Welcome, sir.
Sambano.
Sambano.
Цаг үеэ олсон онцгой арга хэмжээнд оролцож байгаадаа би бол талархаж байна. Миний хувьд сүүлийн жилүүдэд хоол уусруулах эрдэнэ эмгийн судлалыг дагнан эмчилж байгаа эмч хүн. Би танаас нэг асуулт асууя. Би С вирусээр үүсгэсэн элэгний архыг өвчтэй хүмүүс цагаан хоолыг хэрэглэхэд уургад утгах уу? Уурга яаж нөхөх вэ?
Dear Master, I'm glad to be a part of this event, which is being held at a very significant time. In my case, lately, I'm working specifically with healing the digestive organs. Supreme Master, I have a question for you. Do you think that people have infected by BC virus will lack protein if consume a vegetarian diet? How do you suggest they get enough protein?
All right, sir. You see, the virus B affect people through the disposable, unhygienic syringe and cause the liver to become hard. So it is contracted through unclean needle, through the blood of another also. And virus C is contracted through unclean hands as well. So we just need to be more hygienic in handling this. Yes. Thank you anyway for your question. First of all, in the case of animal protein, excessive amounts can actually cause health problems, not helping, including kidney failure from calcium imbalance. Studies have also shown that people who eat meat have even more vitamin deficiencies than vegetarians, 7 times moreover. Furthermore, if you are vegetarian, your immune system is even stronger, so you will not catch these diseases even. Professionals in the field of nutrition state that the vegetarian diet, especially organic vegan diet, is the one people should turn to when they have health problems that cannot be cured by other means, even medicine and the latest invention of modern technology even. So these same persons often experience beneficial changes very quickly and cure for long-lasting health. Vegetarians have been found to live up to 15 years longer than their meat-eating counterparts. And in terms of acquiring protein, there is plenty that can be found from all sorts of beans, nuts, tofu, gluten, corn, rice, and seeds. We have this information stated on our alternative living flyers. Our association member in Mongolia will be glad to give it to you. So the animal-free lifestyle is a successful, productive, healthy, and frugal way to live for everyone. And it also helps to save the planet. We have more info concerning these issues if you please log on to suprememastertv.com. Our Mongolian association members will help to provide these or to help you to do research on our website. Thank you, Professor Sevjit.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.